Hi.
Hello and welcome into this Thursday's edition of Entertainment News here at MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. And one of our co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin. Our other co-host is John C. Walsh. And we have got a comment in there. I don't know what it said. Really or something, did it say?
Yes, really, yes.
Really? Yeah. And John, we're going to start the show on a somewhat of a sombre note.
Yes.
As most people know around the world. And I'm going to say around the world because this man was thought of in high regard across the globe. It's obviously Sir Michael Parkinson, who sadly passed away at the age of 88. Now, the esteemed broadcaster, Sir Michael Parkinson, has passed away. His agent confirmed that he peacefully departed at his residence, surrounded by family, on Wednesday night after a short period of illness. John, now, sad news. It always is when someone that you grew up and watched most of your life passes away. We've covered some of our heroes in the past. Now, I would put Michael Parkinson as one of my heroes. I thought he was a very working class chat show host, you know, very grounded to his roots. Never lost his accent, I don't think, either.
No, he didn't.
And all
it's
that
difficult
time.
to lose that Yorkshire.
It's a very strong, thick accent, John. But what a guy. In terms of guests, memorable shows, we watched some. We watched obviously the one with Billy Connolly and Sting just before we came on, just to have a little laugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of the people he's had on his show, like the likes of Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe, Billy Connolly, as we said.
Everybody, Stephen, going way back.
John Lennon.
He was a
Paul
generational talk show host. He wasn't like one of these modern day ones that's been about for 10, 15 years. And even Conan O'Brien, who's recently retired from the whole talk show host, late night host thing, he was around for about 30 years, early mid-90s through to 2 years ago. This guy was going for fucking like 4 decades or something, like this. Early 70s?
Early 70s, yeah.
Into the 2000s.
He was a journalist in the 60s, and I think he was working in Manchester at the time when he met the Beatles. I don't know if it was for Grenada or something like that, but he knew them quite well when they were at the top of their sort of game. Obviously, John Lennon and Yoko Ono went on his show in the early 70s as well. They talked about, obviously, the sort of prejudice towards Yoko Ono, and it was one thing that Michael Parkinson never sort of shied away from, the sort of controversial topic of the day. In this case, obviously, I would say, let's say it's racism, isn't it? That's what
Stephen, as we've discussed, still very much present in modern day society.
Yeah.
There is a sort of unacceptable level of anti-Asian sentiment.
Yeah.
Not just here, but in the States.
The reason I bring it up, John, is because as much as I like the likes of Jonathan Ross and Graham Norton, I think their shows are fantastic. They're a different format to the way Michael Parkinson did it. He tackled these issues, he talked about these issues, didn't shy away from these things, whereas I think Graham Norton's more about the showbiz.
Yeah, he's more populist.
Nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong.
Stephen, I think Graham Norton's the best we've got in the current generation. The way that he allows them to drink as well, they get alcohol, it relaxes them.
Yeah.
And you get a different vibe from even what the big American sort of hosts are doing, Jimmy Fallon, Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, guys like that. I don't know who else there is. I know your man, Gordon, Gordon, he's fucked off now, thank God. But Parkinson's legendary, Stephen. He's just an iconic name worldwide for the guests that he was managing to attract onto his show, the likes of Muhammad Ali, as you mentioned, the Beatles coming on an individual basis.
Solos,
Also, he did that infamous deal with Paul McCartney that he would appear on the cover of Band on the Run. I think that was 73.
Yeah.
Didn't appear on the show, as you said, Stephen, until 1999.
Yeah.
But if he did that agreement, if you come on to my cover of my album, I'll appear on your show.
John, I remember the Macca one. It was a very good show. It was one of those unique shows, but it was just the one guest. And I think it's a wise thing to do when you get someone like Paul McCartney on, because
lifetime of stories.
You can't talk to someone like him for 15 minutes and then move on to the next guest like Jeremy Clarkson or something like that. You've got to give the whole hour to someone like Paul McCartney.
Give 5 minutes to Jeremy Clarkson.
I know, but you know what I mean though, Billy Connolly for me is the one that sticks out, obviously being fellow Scots.
And he was come on a time and again, Stephen, we've seen it doing his sort of classic 70s stand-up, 80s stand-up routines. The bedrazzled hair and the colourful fashion, he'd appear younger, and he almost fucking followed Parkinson and his Asian.
They were good friends,
They were good friends.
Yeah.
They'd come on quite a bit. I've seen a lot of his.
Yeah.
And also we were watching the Sting one, Stephen.
Yeah.
You're getting impromptu sing songs, if
I
you'd
think,
like.
John, at that time, I think, in terms of his pulling position, within his own show, that was the sort of epitome for any star to, if they were on Parky, they knew they'd made it.
Yep.
The likes of David Beckham was on there, obviously, Victoria Beckham as well, Posh Spice went on as well. I mentioned Peter Kay, more modern stuff.
Meg Ryan.
I think, the Meg Ryan one, John, I know we talked about this in terms
one of the most car crash moments in British TV history.
It was a bad idea to have someone like her on, because I don't think she was in a good place, and mentally, I don't think she was. And I think Parky kind of dropped the ball as well in terms of his professionalism in that show as well. I think he was getting annoyed with her, and rightly so, but he was kind of not rising above it, if you know what I mean. So in terms of that, they just kind of cut it short, ended it, and it was, as you say, a car crash. But it's the only one I can remember that was a bad one. Every other one, hundreds of shows, fantastic.
I'm sure they've all had it, Stephen. Obviously Fallon, I think it was, or was it Kimmel? I always get them mixed up. Had it with Joaquin when he was doing that weird trampish bearded face, and he says he was a rapper.
Yeah.
That was pure car crash. They've all had car crash moments, every one of them.
Yeah.
Letterman with Harrison Ford, I like to go back and watch it and laugh at it, but Harrison wasn't joking, man. He was looking at the crowd like, is this guy for fucking
I
real?
think I quite a bit with Letterman though. I think you either get him or you don't. I remember there was one with Crispin Glover came on.
Yeah,
fucking don't get Crispin Glover on a chat show, because you don't know what he's going to do. Beastie Boys, John, they were on.
Were they on Parkinson? Yeah.
No, they were on. Was it Letterman?
Letterman.
I can't remember if it was Letterman, but it was the one when they were talking about this age-old joke.
Oh God, is that the 10-year prank? Oh my God.
I don't think
it was. God, who was it again? I always forget. He's the one that sadly passed away. I always forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Jesus Christ! But he get pranked, didn't it? It was
Adam.
Was it? Yeah, Adam. Ad Rock.
Ad Rock. Yeah, I can't remember.
Was it? No, it wasn't Ad Rock. Ad Rock's still with us.
Adam.
Because it was Ad Rock. It get pranked.
Adam Yauch.
Adam Yauch. Yeah. What's he called again? Jesus.
I don't even know if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah.
No, you're definitely saying it right, Stephen. Then Mike D. Ad Rock. What was he called?
MC. Yeah.
MC. I fucking was going to say MCA, man.
Yeah, MCA. Yeah.
I was going to say MCA. Don't believe it, but yeah, that 10-year prank story was epic. It was a ring, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Someone gave it a ring, put it in his bag.
That's my kind of humour, though.
God, I loved it.
That's the kind of thing I would do.
It was MCA. We've had on Mike D in it. I think he put it in his bag. He
Yeah.
was like, fucking ring. I would have loved to have been there. One of my biggest regrets is not going to see the Beastie Boys live.
Yeah.
It's one of my biggest ever regrets. But sadly, I was just too young for them and I got their era.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kevin went and seen them.
I think,
vicariously through him.
John, you're talking about peak times in your life. I know, obviously, you're born in '89, but it shows you, how long Michael
Parkinson's
Parkinson
been
was
relevant, yeah.
relevant, because you remember a big chunk of your life being part of that. Obviously, I do, and further back.
Same generational, Stephen.
Yeah,
my grandparents.
And, I know there was a period where he was off, I think, the BBC, and then he came back, and I think it was just one of the best things that happened with the BBC when he came back. I think it was a Friday night he came on. It was just a great way to start your weekend, if that was your thing, and just interesting guests and interesting conversations they had, and it was all down to this guy, his engagement and the way he'd interview was all, it's just so natural.
That's the thing, yeah. It was
that's a good
style.
journalist,
His style was unique.
Yeah.
I read a brilliant sort of eulogy, I think you call it, for the man, and it says his sort of defining feature was he'd listen. He'd listen to the guests. A lot of these talk show hosts, they want to be the star.
Yep.
They want to dominate the conversation. They'll chip in and look, that's fine if you're a fan or whatever.
Yeah.
Parkinson would let the guests have the moment to listen to them and let the personality come out. He was a great man, Stephen.
Yeah.
He really was. And it's sad that we're losing. I mean, I searched it up. William Friedkin we lost a couple of weeks back. The Exorcist, we're starting to lose these Titanic figures over the last 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
They're now starting to pass away, man. It's the end of an era.
It is, John. Something that just popped into my head, and I don't really want to dig too deep into what I'm about to say, because we could go down a really bad rabbit hole here, but he's another one that's away from the Peter Kay Amarillo video. Sadly. I'm not go there because there's a few bad eggs in.
There's a few bad eggs in there that were.
I just remember he was running with Ronnie Corbett, who sadly passed away as well, and Ronnie actually fell I think they were on treadmills. It was just a great scene.
To be fair, I'm not going to put that on Michael.
No.
Those other individuals being in that video,
No.
it was like sort of for good or bad.
I think it was just
prominent figures in British TV history.
At that point, yeah.
But yeah, Stephen, man, for me, the one that stands out for me, as you mentioned, the Billy Connolly ones, but I watched the Muhammad Ali one from way back, and to get a man of that standing on your show, absolute legendary figure. For me, still the greatest of all time in boxing. Legendary man, amazing with his words. But Stephen, you nailed it. He didn't shy away from Muhammad, who was a big towering guy, big personality, and could probably easily manhandle and bully people, not with physicality. We knew he could do that, but with words as well. But Michael stood up to him, and I think he earned his respect. And it was just it was a fucking epic interview between these two guys, towering sort of figures in both their professions. But there's so many moments. The David Bowie one, we get a legend. So many legendary tidbits coming out of these interviews. You mentioned it, the David Bowie one, where that infamous impersonation of Mick Jagger came out. He went to see his gig. Went to see his gig in London, I think it was, and some guy told Mick to get your hair cut. Want to look like you? Just amazing. That's what I'm talking about.
Again, he's letting the guest speak. He's letting them tell the story. You know, he's just sitting back, and that's what makes a good show to me. But it's very sad, John. Obviously, 88. I hope I can get to 88. I'll tell you. I
was going to say good innings, Stephen, but I mean,
but it
isn't really, man. Today's age, people are getting older and older and older and older. But you don't want to get so that life becomes unenjoyable. I do think there's a switch off point. And if you've had an enriched life like Michael Parkinson's had, and you've touched so many people, Stephen, we've said it before, life is all about leaving a legacy and memories. And that's why I love the Oasis song, Live Forever. I know that's probably not what the meaning is, but you and I are going to live forever. You live through your moments and how you touch people.
And Parky certainly had a lot of moments.
Touched many people.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I mean that in the best possible way. I have to stress.
I'm thinking Jack Black in School of Rock when you said that. But we're not getting into that. Your kids.
That's a pure Guardians of the Galaxy. I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy finally last night, and Chris Pratt and sort of that type of shit is rubbing off on me. Where he'd say something and it'd get taken out of context.
He's looking at Nebula. Don't look at me like
fucking epic.
It's just your eyes. I didn't know they were so dark.
So dark. My father removed them and had them replaced with a good eye for colour.
He picked pretty eyes.
Pretty eyes, just brilliant. I loved that film. So upset I didn't see that in the theatres. That's another regret. Really, really good. That's probably my favourite Marvel movie of this phase.
Yeah, I think so.
Really. We'll not talk about that just now.
But anyway. we're moving on anyway, John. We're going to move on to obviously our headline now. Because I know you didn't obviously want to put
want to headline. It's just morbid.
Yeah, it's not just that, John. It comes across as if we're breaking that news, and that's not the case.
It also comes across as if we're, using the death of a prominent person for clicks, which is abhorrent behaviour. We want to celebrate the man. We want to, as you said, he left a legacy and impact on both our lives. Multiple people, generations of people from the British Isles and across the globe, lives. And if a person like that passes away, you simply have to speak about it on the show. But we're not going to headline the show with
We're going to talk about another man who's left a fantastic legacy, John. Nearly 2 decades ago, George Lucas anticipated Disney's Star Wars approach. After the release of the sequel trilogy, Disney's Star Wars tactics shifted, aligning with a forecast George Lucas made 2 decades earlier. John, listen, seeing before we get into the article, or if you want to talk about the article, if there's any quotes.
We know the general gist. I don't think there is.
We're talking 20 years ago, right? I still remember this chat. I still remember Lucas talking about this.
I remember it as well.
Just after it may have been just before Revenge of the Sith. It was talking about live action gangster shit.
Yeah.
With I think
was the name, wasn't it?
Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt sort of people, what we actually eventually got, but the underbelly, I can't remember.
It was like
Underworld or something. I can't remember.
No, I think it was like Numbers. I think it was Numbers. Yeah, you're right. Underworld.
Yeah,
it was like Numbers. You know that?
It was the working title. Yeah, and I remember it. I remember it well, John. It was early 2000s, and I was very excited, and I thought this could be interesting. Putting Star Wars on TV. This was before the web series, but obviously before the internet became a more video-based sort of platform. But I do remember him chatting about it, and I thought, this is very interesting. And do you know something? This might be better than having to wait 3 years for each film. You know, at the time, that's what you thought. But I was wrong. I actually do prefer waiting for 3 years now rather than rushing it.
Yeah,
but
I realise that now.
John, it goes to show that I think if you've ever watched George Lucas and Empire of Dreams documentary, or watched any of the sort of behind-the-scenes stuff, bonus stuff on the DVDs for the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, he always said that it's a big chunk of his life. He commits 10 years to his life each trilogy. And that was one of the reasons he didn't want to do the sequel trilogy. I think he just wanted to spend time with his kids and enjoy some, me time, if you like, because he couldn't commit another decade to doing another trilogy. And fair enough, I think he was in his 60s at this point. But TV, I thought that could work, and I think Filoni was working with Lucasfilm at that point as well, and that was the plan, wasn't it? The plan was Filoni would obviously lead this, but I don't honestly know the full ins and outs of why it never materialised. I know they did the animation for the Clone Wars, and then there was nothing really till obviously the 2012 announcement of the sequel trilogy, and then things started to kick off once again with the takeover from Disney, etc.
And also the Clone Wars were quite haphazard in their construct. They were.
Well, there was two versions. There was a Cartoon Network version, wasn't there?
There was an original animated version, and then there was the Filoni one. No, there was an actual proper cartoon version, as you said, Stephen. Then you had the one that we've obviously seen blending into Rebels and whatnot, that style. And it also, prior to that, we'd got 4 episodes or something. It was a film, which was a fucking disaster, god awful. But it was all out of sync. It was quite jarring. Yeah. And then I obviously watched it after the fact. Well, most of it, I've still not actually finished it. I'm not even going to lie. And you're having to go from season 3 to 2 to 1 to 4.
John,
all over the fucking place.
I've tried to watch the animated stuff. I can't get into it at all.
I mean, it's some brilliant storytelling in there. There's some epic moments. I mean, the moment with Maul and Obi-Wan and Rebels is fucking glorious. The way it's shot.
Yeah, that was pretty good, yeah.
Brilliant stuff going on in it. Valve, incidentally, I don't know if you're still there, mate, on Twitch, but hello, how you doing?
Hello there.
Just went into Restream. I need to keep it on that because we've got a multi-chat in there. We used to have it in OBS, but it's just decided to fuck off for whatever reason, and it's never come back. But Steve, look, man, they predicted this 20 years ago, this strategy. And look, you can say what you want about George Lucas as a director. I mean, he was a pretty decent director, let's be honest. He did direct one of the greatest fucking movies ever made, Star Wars. Yep. And I'd say American Graffiti's pretty damn good as well. Yeah, the one prior to that, sci-fi one.
Stuff, THX stuff,
pretty fucking revolutionary as well. So he's clearly a very good director. Not so good with dialogue and implementation and trying to get actors to read it, as we've famously seen with not just Hayden Christensen more recently, but Harrison Ford in the 70s telling him straight to his face, you can write this shit but you can't see it. But one thing you can't deny with George is his sort of innovation. The guy helped create THX, I think it was. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Pixar. Yeah. So many great companies which are now pinnacles of Hollywood were buffed by George Lucas. LucasArts. So the guy has brainchilded fucking innovation. Skywalker Sound. Yeah. Obviously the actual world building side of things, the guy is second to none in his ability to see stories and layer just
industrial
mythology,
light magic as well.
Industrial light magic, just all the prop stuff all came from his mind.
Everything that the studios are all using now.
It's George Lucas. So you can't deny the guy's legacy, his impact on Hollywood, and his ability to see what's coming in the future. He obviously predicted that TV was going to be massive. At that point, it wasn't massive. It was decent, but it wasn't what we're living just now, where it's indistinguishable.
I'm trying to think back to the early 2000s, what was out, John, in terms of Sopranos. Was it just prior to Sopranos?
Would have been, I mean, I've never seen the Sopranos still to this day.
I think it was probably was round about that time, and I think the X-Files had just finished. Yeah. This was obviously before
Friends would have been cutting about.
Yeah, Friends, I'm talking about like sort of
proper
drama stuff, like
I can't even think, Stephen, I'd have to search it up. But it certainly wasn't a golden era for TV, that's for sure. And George is predicting Star Wars is going to move into TV. People back then would have said, are you fucking mad, mate? Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Yeah. And look at it now. I completely agree. I agreed back then, Stephen, and much like yourself, I would have loved to have seen Star Wars hit TV sooner than it did. But now I'm completely convinced that's the future for Star Wars as a brand.
Lost was one of the big ones.
Never could get into Lost. It's too convoluted. And I was vindicated when I heard about the ending.
That's one of
it was
your man
J.J. Abrams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking garbage.
24.
Not having it. Not the patience. Yeah, it was like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, shit like that, wasn't it?
The Shield was one of the
ones. The Shield. Did I watch The Shield? I think I did. It was actually very good, to be fair.
Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers was
late
fucking
90s,
brilliant.
early 2000s,
yeah.
The Wire. That was the one I was thinking of, John. The Wire.
The Wire. I don't know if I ever watched The Wire.
I think that's the one your dad downloaded, wasn't it? For
the holiday.
Infamous holiday.
And just
no
fucking
internet.
binged it completely.
Because there was nothing else to do.
Exactly.
You just drank.
No, it was I did drink.
Listen to Bowie. Pet
Not
Shop
even
Boys.
particularly good Bowie at that sort of Bowie when he was collabing with the Pet Shop Boys and singing about who you like, talking about sort of innovations and being a revolutionary. Bowie certainly seen what was coming. Do you like girls or boys? It's confusing these days. Well, he was right, to be fair. And yeah, Stephen, I don't know where I was going with that. 2000s TV was pretty fucking average.
Well,
really,
it's just to paint a picture for anyone that wasn't around then.
I can't speak about American TV. Life in Mars was out, but that was after that. That was like 2007, 8. So that was like 10 years nearly after.
I mean, there
Lucas
wasn't
was
much
predicting this.
in terms of quality, you know, and sort of long term.
No. And we weren't seeing budgets like what we're getting just now.
Obviously,
$10 million episode
Breaking
budgets.
Bad and that came out afterwards, that kind of
But
thing.
even Breaking Bad, Stephen, was a slow burner. The first couple of seasons, 2-3 seasons, nobody was watching it. It was a running joke. Nobody was watching
Ryan
it.
Johnson directed a few episodes of that as well.
Ryan Breaking Bad? I'm not sure. I know it was Vince Gilligan who produced it and did the storytelling, which is why I'm fucking can't believe you. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
I've tried to get into it, John.
I've
tried different series because people say it's slow, and I said, I watched the first stuff. I thought the first stuff was very slow. I watched some middle fourth season stuff. I went,
you need to watch it from the start to the finish, though. You need to stick with it.
I just can't get into it. The only reason I like Vince Gilligan and that crew, and obviously your man Chris Carter, was obviously X-Files. It's because it's sci-fi. It's more sci-fi than the actual writers, John. They're very good writers. I get what you're saying.
Giancarlo Esposito. Some of the most unbelievable TV I've ever seen. I think it was about season 6 or something, 5 or 6. It was a moment Walt White was planking drugs, hiding them underneath his underfloor. It was like a bit underneath the house.
Yeah.
And he just falls off the ladder and he's like laughing hysterically. Gustavo Frings, I think, or Gustav Frings.
Yeah,
was Giancarlo Esposito. It was in his head.
It's funny to say that about, obviously, that was that peak.
That was the peak. That was like fucking X-Files.
Yeah, I was going
between
to say that.
The film.
Yeah.
Before and after the film.
Yeah.
Just, you're riveted to it. The music, everything, just unbelievable TV. Unbelievable. To me, it's the greatest TV show ever made. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can hit me with Sopranos. I don't give two fucks.
I've never watched The Sopranos. Again, it's not my genre at all. It's
no,
not my thing.
I mean, it should be my genre, but it's just too long spent now, and I'm just not going to do it.
I think the moment's past, hasn't it? But in terms of obviously what George Lucas was looking at and what he was predicting, I mean,
and
John,
he's right.
You've got to remember as well, YouTube hadn't yet come out when he predicted this, so the internet wasn't as video based as it is now. As you recall, because I remember when YouTube came out, I went, "This is phenomenal." You can actually watch videos online. It sounds silly now, but back then it
was silly back then.
It was phenomenal when it came out. You know, you were typing everything and anything in just to see, is this on it?
That was the fucking internet back then, though, Stephen. There was a guy I watched Bright Inside, Jimmy Corsetti, I think it was Corsetti, something like that. Anyway, was talking about the internet, how Google was so narrow in its sort of search results now. You search something up, it says there's 1 billion results, but you really only get like 10-15 pages in, then it just ends. It wasn't like that 20 years ago.
No.
The internet was infinite.
That's right.
You'd search things up and it went for like fucking thousands of pages.
It must be shutting our servers down.
Shutting our servers down, or they're just restricting, they're pushing the mainstream sort of publications to control the sort of narrative.
YouTube's famous for that, John, as we've seen, because I remember YouTube back in 2005, it was randoms, you know, and I sometimes I wish we were doing what we're doing now because we would be mainstream.
Steve, I wish there was a Twitch back then.
Yeah,
I really wish there was a Twitch when I was like 18.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
My fucking God, I'd have had 1 million subscribers or followers.
Call of Duty, yeah.
The two of us with us, Stephen, the
brilliant
antics, the banter, the back and forth, the fucking games, man. Just absolutely fucking wrecking people. Emotionally and physically violating people on the nightly. We would have been fucking massive.
Yeah.
And sadly, it just wasn't there.
Good. I mean, I can remember 3 a.m, carry on like shouting down the
Even
microphone.
GTA, man, the antics on GTA, all the accents, and because it was an anonymous voice chat, you were just.
I mean, it got to the point
glorious.
some of the arguments, it was just noise, wasn't it? It was like no one's actually listening to anybody.
Stephen, you were like going multiple levels deep. It was like English people arguing with us.
Yeah.
Fucking Scots. Yeah, you jock bastards, I guess this and that. Fuck yous. And you'd be getting into voice chats, private calls with them and saying, let's get these fucking jock cunts. You were doing, and they were agreeing, let's get them.
I must have confused them. I thought you were one of them.
Oh, brilliant, man. And then we'd fucking be arguing about Nottingham Forest or a small pub, Martin and Hill, and then we were agreeing with each other, then we're arguing with each other again.
I remember that as well.
Brilliant
That
moments.
was fantastic, wasn't it? John, I actually played GTA 4, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I found the disc last week for it and I put it in. It's garbage. It's terrible. The actual, you know, the graphics are terrible, but the motion's just as bad. He's like sliding. And he's running like it's like terrible. And I forgot you didn't have like a circle, you know, a carousel of weapons. They were like in the middle of the streets, like rotating. You had to go and run and collect them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
It's amazing what you forget.
Because you had to go and get like a rocket launcher and then get back into that little room.
I thought that game was great at the time, but now I was like, no, this is terrible.
That's what happens, though, Steve. Yeah, you think it's, I mean, it's like innovative for its time, but then 10 years passes and it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now it's utter garbage.
But this man, he was ahead of the curve.
He was innovative, he was bang on, Stephen, and this is the future of Star Wars for me. Certainly under Disney, they've proven time and again that they cannot be trusted to make just even good level Star Wars movies without someone like Tony Gilroy coming in and having to save a day. Just average, inane pish that they're putting out. It makes no fucking sense. It goes nowhere.
I think in terms of technology, we weren't there yet either, John. Let's be honest.
Just the story, Stephen. It
Green
goes
screen
nowhere.
was the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now we're using that. I can't remember what it's called. I keep calling it. Is it the volume?
The volume.
I call it the void for some reason. I know that it had its critics.
I wonder if they used the volume for Guardians. You know that? I wonder if the shots where Peter Quill's sitting, because there was a moment he was standing in the sort of, what do you call it, the cockpit, sort of front part of the ship, listening to music fitted perfectly again. He's just reflective and it's just a stunning shot of it.
It could have been, could have been,
Also Drax comes up behind and tries to give him an analogy. Fucking love Drax. Oh, what a character. Just brilliant.
I thought Drax.
Are you saying I'm stupid? Yeah.
The lady
Mantis was brilliant.
She was really funny. See when she touched that guy and says that you're in love with Drax.
With him.
It was just awkward though.
But it was the response of Drax that told me that this happened again and again and again. She's done him dirty.
Do you know the other bit I liked? I know we're going off on a tangent.
Do you know what I love, Stephen? Quill saying to that lady, can you let me in and let me talk to them?
Yeah.
And she's like, there you go. Say what you've got to say. Yeah, whatever, I'm not that daft. I just wanted access. I told you she was into me.
Do you know the other bit I liked though, when Nebula couldn't get in the car and she's like, just press the button. No, that's the key lock. No, press it. Just get in the fucking car.
Yeah, fucking car.
I love that.
Oh, do you think? Well, I was 8 years old when I left here. You think I'm going to be any better than you at fucking driving? Cuts to Gamora looking down. Fucking brilliant. That's why I love James Gunn, and it's why I've got the utmost confidence in him to get DC right. Because the guy, and I said it to you, Stephen, he just knows how to balance. He's like Taika Waititi, laughter, sort of sad, traumatic moments. He just gets the balance perfect. He doesn't have you down in a lull too long. Bang, you're back in with a joke. I was fucking crying, Stephen. I'm not even going to lie, I was crying.
Cool, man. That's an asshole.
I was crying like a bitch when Rocket came back to life and they were hugging. I was fucking crying.
That was quite a moment, wasn't it?
And then there was a joke right after it and I was howling. I'm like, that's it. That's filmmaking.
The bit of Nebula was sort of devastated as well. She was affected by obviously
Rocket
coming back.
It was a sad, fucking sad, man.
And his friends as well it was quite a sad
thing. I knew they were dying though.
Yeah,
I did say that. There was
a very deep moment though, a deep cut for Rocket as well, when his sort of creator said you're not coming to the New World.
Yeah, that was fucking.
It was really, really bad.
Getting steam again. That was fucking telegraphed.
Yeah.
Oh, when we go to this New World, hey, you're not going.
No,
it's clear as day you're not going.
You're just a test subject.
Have you looked at yourselves? Come on.
Yeah. Sad.
Come on now. It was sad. It was. It was a great movie though.
Great ending. Great finish.
Yeah.
To the series.
Peter Quill slopping on cereal. For all those people who have that condition where they get wound up with it, it just continued the audio into black. I loved that. Fucking great. I love Peter Quill.
Yeah.
Just love him. I love the vibe. That's Gen X.
Yeah.
That's Gen X right there.
Yeah.
There's actually a guy in my work plays music and I just think that's Peter Quill. Just he resonates.
Imagine what with a guy like that.
Yeah, he resonates that fucking energy, man. He really does. I'm like, that's something that'd be on the mixtape. And he's about that age. He's like 40 odds. I'm like, that's Peter Quill. All day long.
John, we're going to move on to our final because George Lucas hardly got a look in that.
He's right, ultimately.
John,
Star Wars, the strategy is right. Disney are basically just stealing all his fucking ideas and doing it worse. He was going to do underworld stuff. He was going to focus on Boba Fett, on Jabba the Hutt, all these criminal figures. Basically what Disney are doing just now, but you can...
Softer. They're doing it a lot softer.
Guarantee the 100 fucking episode treatments that he had were far, far better than this.
Yeah, probably darker than what we got, especially Boba Fett, which I thought was quite
Boba Fett.
There was some moments in it I thought were really good. Obviously in the slave, they don't call it that now, don't they? No, that's the problem. Yeah. The ship, where he was getting his revenge.
Fucking Slave One. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. But John...
It's always going to be Slave One to me.
Yeah, we're going to move on anyway to our final topic, and some music news, John, and it's all about why 3/4 of the Beatles dislike recording Maxwell.
Fuck that. I didn't do 3/4. This is why the Beatles hated.
Yeah, well, I don't think
he was outvoted.
Yeah, it was a democracy. It was a democracy. Yeah, John, with the pages of many years from now, McCartney reflects on how the song captures life's setbacks. He characterises it as my representation of unexpected misfortunes, which were becoming apparent in my life back then. Seeking symbolism for this, he conjured up the fictional figure Maxwell, armed with a silver hammer. The choice of silver, he admits, was purely for its resonance. Maxwell's silver hammer simply sounded more appealing now. John, there are some quotes in here that you might have to bring up from the three other Beatles, which we know the fruity one is probably the best one from, obviously, from George. Now, we did get glimpses of this, obviously, in the Get Back documentary from Peter Jackson from a couple of years ago, where they were kind of knocking it around, but it wasn't getting much time with the other three Beatles, as if I had put that to the side.
It was a fucking terrible song, Stephen. It just was.
John, it's not one of my favourite songs, but it's not a rotten song.
For me it is. It's up there with Wild Honey Pie.
Wild Honey Pie, I still don't like Wild Honey Pie or Run for Your Life.
Run for Your Life. There's another one.
Can't remember.
See the fact that I can say there's another one out of 10 years of fucking discography.
Exactly. You're talking 200 odd songs.
And I can say there's another one.
Yeah.
There's like 4 songs in their whole catalogue. And look, Run for Your Life's not a bad song. It's just weird as fuck.
Yeah.
You better run for your life if you can, little girl. Hide your head in the sand, little girl. Catch you with another man, and that's the end. What, John?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you saying?
You're a bit possessive. No possessions.
That's weird as fuck.
John, is it a song that you would bypass if you're listening to Abbey Road? I've got to be honest, I don't really mind. That's what I mean. It doesn't offend me.
I've listened to it.
It doesn't offend me. It's one of these songs that
I'll
be over in a couple of minutes. Just
I do tend to bypass it though, Stephen. I think
that's what I was getting at.
Come together, something, and then I just move on to like the melody, or like the medley, not the melody.
Do you think where it's placed in the album is wrong as well, coming off the back of 2 of those songs?
Yeah, it's politics. It's John, it's Paul, and then it's George. Or George has to be Paul next. Yeah. That's his flagship song.
Because I was listening to Revolver today, and I was thinking, you open with Taxman, Harrison's Taxman, then you get Eleanor Rigby, and then you get into I'm Only Sleeping. And it's that same kind of formula. Yeah. They all get their sort of showpiece at the start. But they are all good, that's the thing. In terms of equal measures, I can't really separate those 3 tracks. And this one,
I'm Only Sleeping is actually one of my favourite John Lennon Beatles songs.
It's fantastic, John. The video they released last year in Oz.
Reverse guitar.
They released an awe. They released as well.
Video's great.
Yeah,
the singing's great. The vibe from it's great because it's basically me singing about. That's my life.
John, can we bring up the quotes?
They're there. Yeah,
because I can't remember what they said.
Even apart the tuning in I'm Only Sleeping, incidentally, the guitar tuning, I fucking love it. It's like a flat. It's like half tune. What is it? A drop.
The sound, the
You
actual
drop it at
sound
a half
of
step.
The
Fucking
sound
glorious.
represents the album for me. Just that sound that they
play it often.
generated. The quotes from the other three Beatles. Maybe
Is this it?
No, I think they're actually highlighted, John.
Are they down?
There we go. There's Paul's fun. I don't know why it was silver.
Right there.
It
There was
just
one,
sounded better than Maxwell's Hammer. It was Paul. The next one was John Lennon. I hate it. There's actually a 1980. He said, I hate it. He said, he made us do it 100 million times. He did everything to make it into a single, and it never was, and it never could have been. We spent more money on that song than any of them in the whole album. Star was equally blunt.
The worst session ever was Maxwell Silver Hammer. The worst track we ever had to record. It went on for fucking weeks. I thought it was mad.
And then we've got George's.
Sometimes Paul would make us do these really fruity songs.
Yeah.
And that is why George walked out. Because he was trying to critique George and his guitar playing, when he should come in with a guitar, when he shouldn't. And then he was playing these fucking songs.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, they were telling George at this point that I Me Mine wasn't a fucking suitable song for Let It Be or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not rocky enough.
Yeah, Across the
He's
Universe.
fucking doing Maxwell Silver Hammer and John's doing Across the Universe. Now, I love Across the Universe, but come on, fuck, John. You can't be bringing that in and then same with a straight face to George. I Me Mine. Have you heard I Me Mine, John? Come on.
I like I Me Mine. John,
at that point, it wasn't what we
it's
heard.
funny that Lennon says that, though, because I always was under the impression that John Lennon didn't sit in those sessions for Maxwell Silver Hammer because he was recovering from a car crash in Scotland with Yoko Ono.
I think
and
they were
the kids.
doing it in Get Back with the Let It Be sessions. They were doing
Maybe
it.
That's what he was referring
Yeah,
to.
they
But
were.
it does mention there, obviously 6 months before the band actually recorded the song at Studio 2 in the EMI, John and Yoko had been involved in a car crash in Scotland, and this was Lennon's first session since the accident. So he's came back off the accident. His first session. That morning, as the studio technicians prepared the studio, there was an unexpected delivery, and obviously that's what it was. Ding Ding. Who played the anvil in that song?
Was it Big Mal?
It was Mal,
Big Mal Evans, he loved that shit, didn't he? Yeah, did he not do... Well, he
was right into it, yeah.
Yeah, he was well into it. He was a great guy, Big Mal.
Yeah.
Proper
I've heard
big
there's
boy.
actually I don't know
Big
if it's
Big Brother.
I don't know if it's a
Big boy. I'd say that all the time.
big bands.
I've watched that many Indian shows now that Bye, I'm out walking my dog, I'm like, come on, Bye. And I mean to say boy, but Bye, it just comes out, come on, Bye. But it works, come on, brother, let's
as it
go.
turned out, Lennon never played on the recording of this. But I think you're right. I think he's referring to the Get Back sessions, John.
Where they went on
Yeah,
and
he was
on
pushing
and
it.
on.
He was
pushing
definitely.
it.
It was. This he's getting in here. No, it's not. No,
To
it's
be
not.
fair, Stephen, to be fair to Macca, he did like some of John's fruity numbers as well. He came out and says one of his favourite, if not his favourite Beatles songs was You Know My Name, Look Up a Number.
Yeah.
And come on, I love that song.
Yeah.
I do. It's one of my favourites, to be
fantastic,
fair.
Yeah.
Brian Jones playing the
It's
saxophone
so
on
weird.
it.
Yeah.
But that's a fucking fruity song.
Yeah.
So to be fair to Paul, he would tolerate the others, but they had zero tolerance for his. And it's probably because he was refining it again and again and again.
Yeah,
But Stephen, I'm that kind of guy.
I think it was a perfectionist and Paul, and what to get it the way he envisioned it in his head, and I think it's sometimes hard, whether it's like music, John, or if it's like painting, or if it's maybe making a film, to try to translate that vision to others. If you've got something in your head and try to, communicate that to others, within a band, and they're not getting it, and then you become a bit frustrated because of that, and you're doing take after take after take. It's going to wind the other ones up. It's going to create friction, isn't it?
But that's what I loved about the Get Back documentary. You've seen the process of being an artist, and Stephen, this is something people in other bands came out and obviously referenced when they watched it. That it perfectly captured that sort of jamming spirit where you're just trying to bounce ideas off of each other and come up with something and almost create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So I can always, they also didn't like the song. I know for a fact George, was it George? I think it was George, made the comment about he couldn't understand Macca's songwriting process, where he would make up these characters and sing about fictitious people, whereas John would sing about, in my life, he's singing about fucking Maxwell Silver Hammer. He's singing about, I don't know, fucking Eleanor Rigby.
I think that goes down to emotions, though. I think Macca, and he's admitted himself, he always found it hard to open up emotionally in the public. And sometimes I think that transcends into his writing, where he has to create a character. The song mentioned it, John, in terms of I'm looking through you. It's directed at Jane Asher.
Yeah.
You can tell it is, but
I love the vindictiveness in that song.
Yeah, he will create a character to get round that. And I understand where Harrison's coming from. How does he do that? Why does he do it? Because I think at that point, George was probably more attuned to the writings of John Lennon and probably Bob Dylan at that point as well. But more so, obviously, with John and the sort
John was at it as well.
Personal. Yeah, well...
Sexy Sadie.
Yeah, that was in the Maharishi, yeah. Yeah, I think that was because George asked them to change the name, though, I think.
I love that from the anthology.
Yeah, I think he
when
asked
George was...
Yeah, I mean, whether that's true or not, it's fucking hilarious, I don't know if it's true. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think
George was having doubts.
But I don't think George ever... I don't think he ever... He never spoke ill of the Maharishi afterwards. So it kind of suggested to me that maybe it's one of John's sort of
made up
in his
stories
head.
again.
It was real,
Like he believes it. Smoking pot before meeting the Queen.
Playing the bass with jamming with Elvis.
Yeah.
I played football with Elvis. Yeah.
Absolute fantasist, John. At times, I love the guy. He's my absolute fucking hero. But he was a complete fantasist.
Yeah.
He made things up. He did. It was just
like Mac now.
Yeah, Mac is just rewriting the entire history of the Beatles now. He wrote every fucking song.
Yeah. Before he
dies, it'll not be Lennon McCartney, it'll just be McCartney.
Yeah. The thing is, the way it sometimes goes on, it is like, my songs I wrote and John's songs I helped him write.
Yeah, but the trouble is, Mac, that there's like fucking 4 decades worth of Beatles fandom who know what happened.
And there's a lot of documented facts, the Revolution in the Head book, etc. It tells you exactly who played on what.
And they're not going to tolerate rewriting
the last
history.
couple of years, he's claimed In My Life, A Day in the Life, Strawberry Fields, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, holy
it's a strange one.
Fuck.
It's a strange one,
Jesus
but yeah,
Christ.
I mean, I don't know if it's coming directly
the guy
from
never
him.
touched acid until at the last possible moment and then checked out after one hit. And he's claiming Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, really? Yeah. I know they says it was about Julian's drawing, was it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, so there we are.
But Stephen, getting back to Maxwell Silverhammer, it'd be fair to, I've said time and again, the greatest melodist, pop melodist to ever walk the earth is Paul McCartney, James Paul McCartney. And even in this, you've got little elements of the melody coming out.
It's part of physical.
Dun, 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 dun. The fucking melody's brilliant. That is, it catches in your ear. You don't want it catching because you're like, I fucking hate this song. Jones was crazy, started about physical. That's me now.
Yeah.
I'll bend my head to 6 a.m. now. I'll not sleep tonight. All I'll hear is. Dude,
it's funny, I think they put a take on the anthology discs. I don't know how they picked one out because there must have been a lot.
Fucking 200.
Yeah. So, John, it's a song. I used to think when I first heard it, I went, "What is this? This is fucking worse than the Frogs chorus." And I thought, whatever. Yeah, it's not on long enough. It's just over 2 minutes, and something. It'll pass. There's more good stuff coming up anyway, and there was some good stuff just before it.
There was another Beatles song.
Obla Di Obla Da.
I fucking love Obla Di Obla Da.
But it's kind of fruity as well.
That was the same, wasn't it? Lennon came out the control room.
Yeah.
It says, "I'm fucking stoned.
This is how you do it.
This is how you do it." And he's like, "Yes, I'll use that. Thank you very much, John. But of course, that'll be changed now." It was Macca who was stoned, and he came out and shouted, "I'm fucking stoned. This is how you do it." And everyone just looked on dewy-eyed at Macca's fucking artistic
Needless to
brilliance.
say, I had the last laugh. Yeah.
I can't remember, Stephen. There's that many great Beatles songs. It's really hard to focus my energy on the less than
Rocky Raccoon, maybe?
No, I love Rocky Raccoon. I'm fucking obsessed.
Is it one
with
you don't like?
One I don't like.
Right, okay.
Wild Honey Pie. I
just don't get that. Revolution 9, I don't like.
I've listened to that through on my own in the dark. It's an experience.
Good. Yeah, it's not good.
It's an experience.
Is it a Macca one?
No, you know what? I'm going to go with It's Only an Oven Song. No, I like Only an Oven Song. What the fuck is it?
Is it a Macca one?
No, I think it may be Harrison.
All right, okay.
Magical Mystery Tour era.
Blue Jay Way?
Blue Jay Way.
Is it Blue Jay Way?
Blue Jay Way.
Yeah. All right, okay.
Having Blue Jay Way. Wild Honey Pie. Is there any Lennon songs, or am I just going to be a little sycophantic bastard for John?
Run for Your Life,
yeah. There you go.
Like
There's another one on A Hard Day's Night that's fucking terrible as well.
Hard Nights.
Hard Night's Day.
Hard Nights.
Hard Night's Day.
Hard Night's Day.
There's another one, an unknown one. Because we used to do the guessing game, didn't we?
A hard Day's Night.
Hard Day's Night, I'll find it.
I don't know, John. I remember there was a couple. I think there was a couple you didn't like, and then they grew on you. Certainly one for Help from George.
I think I'll Be Back or When I Get Home. I don't think it's I'll Be Back. When I Get Home.
Could be. I'm not sure.
It's one of them anyway. Yeah, there was I Need You.
I Need You
from Harrison. I hated it initially, and then when I grew to love George's sort of journey with the volume pedal.
Always reminds me that time you left a voice message on my.
You remember that? Here, there, everywhere.
No, it was. You went like this. You went, man. What's this song and what album was it from? It was George Harrison.
It was the only album I didn't fucking have for George's in my library, and it was on that. Yeah. It was a Give Me Love, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth.
You whistled it.
Yeah,
and I was like, I knew it right away.
Yep. Brilliant song. What was I going to say? Yeah, Here, There, Everywhere as well. That haunted me.
Yeah.
The ending. A month trying to find that song, and I got it. So yeah, that's what the Beatles do.
It does that to you, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, that never happened though. Yeah. I'm a fucking encyclopedia of knowledge for the Beatles. I'll have you know, I was on a quiz app. I was looking fucking #1 in Britain for completing the lyrics of Beatles songs.
I was on that. Do you remember the Xbox Live game? I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
200 to 1 or something.
Yeah, that was brilliant back in the day, wasn't it?
And I managed to get onto the Beatles sort of final live show.
Yeah, you could actually time it out. Yeah, you did, yeah. And there was a little guy going hammer and tong with his...
Yeah, it's how you use our answering these before the questions.
Because we know them, dickhead.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, but I'm a fucking...
I think Rock Band had just come out. I think that's the reason they did that, wasn't it?
Loved Rock Band as well, Stephen, back in the day. That was epic. I remember that was terrible now.
I was not good at that.
I was actually surprisingly decent at the drums, and I'm usually shite at the fucking drums.
To be fair, Macca can't do Rockstar.
Can he not?
Rock Band, sorry. He can't do it. He says that his grandkid beat him at it. And he says, but I played on the real one.
Exactly.
So that trumps all.
Of course it does. You're imitating me, you little fud. Back in their fucking box. Back in box.
Back of the net.
Back of the net, you little fud.
Back on the road.
Back on road again. From Bolton. I've got a sweet tooth. Cookies. Oh God, I love Stephen Trice. I really do. What a guy. And his other channel where he does the sort of Partridge stuff, he'll appear out of a fucking tree.
Yep.
From behind a tree, fully suited and booted. Just love the guy. He's just eclectic. What a fucking sense of humour. Class guy. Hard to believe he's only mid-20s or something like that. I think he's like 27 now.
Yeah.
So he's getting on.
Yeah. But he's made for life though.
Yeah, he's made for life. No, he's a fucking brilliant guy. All that scene of class, all that sort of like YouTube scene, British YouTube scene. There's another guy, he's even younger. He does like rips the piss out of TikTok. Is this middle-aged fucking weirdo on TikTok, English guy? Lemmy's took a piss out of him before. He rips him a new one every single video, man. He does like those reactions. He reacts to cringe-worthy things. He's funny. I'm Alex, I think his name is. He's brilliant. There's just that scene's class. Yeah. It's a Geordie guy as well. It's fucking not true Geordie, the other one.
Fraud Geordie.
Fraud Geordie. But he says Avanti West Coast.
Yeah.
East Coast. Stupid Stephen. Fucking love him. What a guy. What's your thoughts though? What's your thoughts on the topics we touched on? What do you make about George Lucas and his prediction that Star Wars would turn to TV? And that was a strategy for the future of Star Wars. Disney now, it seems, listening to him 20 years later. Do you agree with it? Is that the future for Star Wars? Is George an absolute fucking genius? Does he see the world spinning round, to quote James Paul McCartney? I think that was James Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Phil on the Hill.
Phil on the Hill. What's your thoughts on the Beatles and their hatred of Maxwell Silver Hammer? I think even Macca deep down has a bit of self-loathing for that song because he created it after all. There's my dog's thoughts. He's coughing up a hairball. He thinks he's a fucking cat. He's a Labrador. Rocky Raccoon. What's your thoughts on the sad passing of the legendary Michael Parkinson? Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section. That's the place to put your thoughts. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Do the same thing over on Twitch if I can speak the King's English, because it's a king now, sadly. I just wish we were a fucking republic, to be honest with you. None of this bollocks, just speak English. Which most people say we don't speak anyway. Regardless of what you do, thank you once again for watching us, and until the next time, well done. Bye-bye.